Hello to our lovely healthcare professionals all around the world and especially in the Philippines. Welcome to ASC Global Recruitment's free online webinar entitled Prepare for Success as a UKRN. Hear from our experts. My name is Jeb. I'm the marketing specialist of ASC Global Recruitment and I'll be your host for this informative session. It's been a while since I last hosted this event and I miss you guys and I hope you guys are all doing great in this sunny Friday afternoon. Please stay hydrated and of course drink your water. That's a reminder from me, okay? So please feel free to drop your questions and our experts will be on hand to reply. So for us to get started in our info session, I would like to introduce to you our lovely speakers for this afternoon. Next slide, please. There you go. So, for our first speaker, we have Miss Marla Pia Alzate, the technical trainer of ATS Learning Center, who will be discussing about the OSCE and CBT. Then we have Mr. Hubert Aldana, the recruitment team lead of ASC Global Recruitment, who will be discussing the employers hiring right now, the ASC's new NMC, new ASC's new application criteria, and of course the great salary and package on offer. Last but not the least, we have Miss Maha Peñol, our recruitment manager of AC Global Recruitment, who will be giving you expert advice about on how you can ace your employer interview. So that's an amazing lineup for this afternoon. So let me proceed to our housekeeping. So first is you listen attentively and take notes if you wish. Feel free to ask questions at any time in the comment section. Our team will be on hand to reply. Then our speakers will hold a short live Q&A session at the end of this live stream. And it may not be possible for us to answer everyone's questions during the event, but we will make sure to provide all of the answers and for your questions will be sent via email at I think later or maybe early next week. So that will be great, right? So yes, let's start our first speaker. We have Miss Marla Pia Alzate. She's the technical trainer of ATS Learning Center. She has 10 years experience as a UKRN and she will be discussing or giving you expert insights about CBT and OSCE. So let's have Miss Marla up on stage. Hi, Miss Marla.
Hi, Jeff.
Hope
Hi.
you're doing great. So the floor is
Yes,
yours.
thank you. Hi, everyone. Thank you very much, Jeff. Hi, and good afternoon, everyone, especially all our wonderful nurses out there. It's a pleasure to join you today here on our Grand Career Orientation. I am here to tell you the good news of what ATS Learning Center can offer to all aspiring nurses when you are hired by our ASC employers. Oh, and by the way, I am Marla Alzate. I am one of the technical trainers of ATS Learning Center. I was a registered nurse also from the UK for 10 years with experiences in geriatric care, acute medical ward, escalation unit, and the gastroenterology ward. I will be very happy to share all my nursing experiences in the UK during online consultations once you are with us. Next slides, please. With me are our team of nurses, Miss Jessa Marasigan, and our lovely training manager, Mr. Paul Parlan. Our team of nurses are all certified UK trainers, and we will be available to assist and answer your questions as you prepare to get your registration as nurses in the UK. We provide an overview of the Nursing and Midwifery Council, or the NMC's test of competence, both Part A and Part B, to give helpful and relevant information that will enhance the skills of the nurses, giving them the advantage to perform well both in theory and practice. And of course, we also help nurses become familiar with the OSCE exam stations, the forms, the skills that you need to apply in the scenarios that will be given to you. Okay? And most of all, we are here to bridge the gap between the known practice or the procedures that we do here in the Philippines versus the United Kingdom standard. Next slide, please. To become a registered nurse in the UK, you must apply first for an NMC PIN or your registration number. And to achieve this, you must take the test of competence, which composed of two exams: the computer-based exam or CBT, which is a test of theory, and the objective structured clinical exam or OSCE, which is a testing skill or what we call in the Philippines as return demo. The test of competence is used to assess the skills and knowledge of people applying to join the register from overseas. NMC, or the Nursing Midwifery Council, regulates and maintains the register of professionals eligible to practice in the UK. And with ATS, we are here to help you on the step by step of the application process and to provide an overview of what the exams will be like. Next slide, please. The CBT is split into two parts. Okay, part A covers 15 questions or 15 questions on numeracy, and part B covers 100 clinical questions for nursing. Sorry, your ability to apply your knowledge is tested in part one of the NMC test of competence. Here at ATS, we will give you advice about the content of the questions and the skills needed to answer all those questions. Next slide, please. Thank you. The OSCE, or Objective Structured Clinical Exam, is designed to assess your ability to, to competently apply your professional nursing skills and knowledge in the UK. It is set at the level expected of nurses as they enter the profession at the point of registration. This means that you must demonstrate that you are capable of applying your knowledge to the care of patients at the level expected of newly registered nurses. Right? The examination is testing your ability to apply knowledge and skills to the care of patients rather than testing how well you can remember and recite facts. All scenarios, okay, remember there will be different scenarios, all right, and associated questions relate to the current best practice, and you should answer them in relation to published evidence. You will be given 10 stations to complete under a time constraints. Once enrolled with ATS, or once you're with us, we give you guides and tips on the different scenarios that you may encounter in doing the 4 API station. API stations are your assessment or your planning, implementation, and evaluation station, or your nursing process. The 2 writing stations, or what we call the silent stations, and the 4 practical skill stations. Next slide, please. Here at ATS, or with us, we only use UK certified training materials for our trainings. All of these materials are authentically from our UK employers. You can visit us to see and feel actual materials during our free demo sessions. Next slide, please. Right. And what are the other benefits that we offer here at ATS? Of course, if you're enrolled with us, okay, you will get a higher chance of passing your test of competence because we have high passing rate, right? And of course, you will get consultation with UK trained educators for free, and we have our convenient online classes. Next slide, please. And of course, this is what's the good news for all our ASC nurses, right? Once you're hired, okay, by our ASC employers, you get free CBT and OSCE training. Okay, you get this all for free, and that's already actually 20 pounds and 100 pounds worth. Next slide, please. And another plus is when you enroll with us, you get this free UKRN ebook. This book has a lot of information helpful as you prepare for your test of competence. Plus, it comes very, very handy.
Thank you so much, Miss Marla, for that wonderful talk. And I hope Miss Marla gave an insightful advice regarding the OSCE and CBT. So please feel free to message them on their Facebook and LinkedIn page to inquire more about ATS services. Then
Yes.
moving forward, thank you, Miss Marla. I'll
Thank
see you
you,
later
Jeff.
at our Q&A session. Thank you. So moving forward to our next guest speaker, we have the recruitment team lead, Mr. Hubert Aldana. So he'll be discussing about the great package and offer, the wonderful employers hiring right now, and of course, the perks of working and living in the United Kingdom. So everyone, let's give him a round of applause. There
Thank
you
you
go.
very much, Jev. Good afternoon, everyone. Hi to our nurses, midwives, and allied healthcare professionals. Welcome to AAC's online live career orientation. I hope everyone is doing well. Again, my name is Hubert Aldana, Manila Recruitment Team Lead. Next slide, please. We are very excited to share with you our UK employers that actively conduct online and face-to-face interviews. Eye-popping, right? This means we have lots of great opportunities available right now for you. You can see the 10 posters of our UK employers, and I encourage everyone to visit our social media pages, and you will see all of these posted with dates of interviews. Just kindly click the link and you will be redirected to our website at acglobalrecruitment.com. You will then find all the comprehensive information about our UK employers. Then click on the specific e-brochures to learn more about our UK employers and the salary and the packages they are offering. For full details of each offer, feel free to contact AAC today or visit our social media accounts. On to the next slide, please. Since AAC have lots of UK employers, as you can see on your screen, we have clients located across England. We have employers located in central London, four in the outskirts area of central London, and two are in the north part. Next slide, please. These are the current vacancies we are recruiting. Hopefully, you will be part of the applicants who will fill these positions. We are recruiting ED or A&E, acute assessment unit, community, adult and children, endoscopy, general medicine, neurosurgery, oncology, OPS or older people services, followed by orthopedics, pediatrics, stroke unit, surgery ward, theater or operating room nurse, and lastly, occupational therapist. If you know someone working in these specialties, feel free to refer them to us or tag them in the comment section below of this online event. On to the next slide, please. And we would like to share with you our Frimley Health NHS Foundation Trust. Frimley Health have an outstanding rating from the Care Quality Commission. Last year, they opened a brand new 100 million pounds worth hospital expansion, which is the Heatherwood Hospital. They have a comprehensive professional development program for the staff should you want to progress your career. And lastly, the trust offer on-site nursery and subsidized restaurants. Next slide, please. We also have Portsmouth Hospitals University NHS Trust. They offer them an opportunity to be part of a dynamic organization striving for excellence. They also have a reputation for award-winning research and development. And lastly, they also pioneer in medical advances to benefit patients. All right. Next slide, please. We also have Central London Community Healthcare NHS Trust, the largest community healthcare hospital in London. Being a community nurse is a unique role and allows you rather to develop strong relationships with patients in their own homes. And lastly, they support patients at every stage of their lives. On to the next slide, please. And I am very excited to share with you all that Chelsea and Westminster Hospital NHS Foundation Trust is coming back here in the Philippines to recruit nurses from August 16 to 17 at Quest Hotel in Cebu City and on August 19 to 20 at Seda Hotel Makati City. Yes, you heard it right. We have a very busy month. And I encourage everyone to apply now so you can now start to process your application of becoming a UKRN. And rest assured that our team will be with you every step of the way to assist you and guide you with expert advice and support. All right, next slide, please. Now, let's talk about living and working in the UK. We Filipinos have a culture of being close to our families, right? To all our healthcare professionals listening now and watching now, do not worry. Once you're already in the UK, it is easy to beat homesickness because number one, people in the UK are friendly and polite. Yes, they are very gentle person. UK is relatively safe place to live and it has access to other European countries. Very rich in history and culture. And lastly, they have a free healthcare. All right. Now on to the next slide, please. Can you see the amazing photos on your screen? These photos are IG worthy, right? The UK has a rich culture, and these pictures say 1,000 words. No, parang, yeah. Next slide, please. In this slide, I want to discuss AC's new application criteria for the English language test. Next slide, please. The NMC criteria is still the same. To qualify for the UK, you still need to have a scores of 7 in reading, listening, and speaking, and no score below 6.5 in writing. In case you miss a half point in one of these components, it is subject to clubbing. However, AEC can already accept your application while you are waiting to club your scores. Get a job offer from our UK employer provided you take the second exam within 12 months from your initial date of exam. All right? For the next slide, the same goes apply for OET. All right? Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Next slide. There you go. And now let's proceed with the salary and package highlights, which include other benefits. The starting Band 5 salary is currently £28,407 per annum, and that is more or less 2 to 2.4 million pesos per annum. This is the standard NHS salary of a 37.5-hour work week. All right. Take note that the starting salary of nurses is the same in every NHS trust across England. However, depending upon the location of the NHS trust, additional high cost area supplement or HCAS may apply. On top of that, if you apply with ASC, here are our amazing offers. Number one, we provide a free international flight to the UK. So you don't need to worry about buying your own ticket or booking your own flight. It's on us. Second, your English language test and NMC fees will be refunded to you upon deployment. Third, your accommodation will be arranged by our employer. And take note, most of our employers will arrange a minimum period of free accommodation. And lastly, free visa sponsorship and speedy deployment. You could be in the UK and earning an overseas salary in as little as 2 to 4 months. However, this will also depend on how fast you complete your requirements. And there will be a free CBT review and OSCE training through our partner learning center, which is the amazing learning center. ATS Learning Center, rather. You heard from our speaker earlier, Miss Marla. So that's it. On to the next slide, please. So now, these are the required documents you need to send so we can proceed with your application. First, updated CV. Second, valid passport. Third, valid PRC license. Fourth, valid English language test, either IELTS or OET. And lastly, a DMW PO certificate. Next slide, please. Please take note that AEC does not collect any placement fee or any processing fee from our candidates. Rest assured. And for my last slide, please apply now. Feel free to scan the QR code flash on the screen. It will be my pleasure to assist you together with the recruitment team to become a registered nurse in the UK. Remember, the UK is just ASC away. That's all for me, everyone. Thank you very much for watching and listening to my presentation. Back to you, Jev.
Thank you so much, Hubert. I'll see you later at our Q&A portion. So, I hope you're all convinced with the services being offered by AAC Global Recruitment, and our experts will be sending the apply now link on our comment section so you can start your UK journey today. So remember, as what Hubert said, the UK is just AAC away. Maybe you'll be the next one deployed, right? Wink. So, okay, for our last guest speaker, she is the recruitment manager of ASC. To give an insightful advice on how you can ace your employer interview, let's give it up for Miss Maha Peñol. Hi, Miss Madge.
Hi, Jev, and thank you for introducing me. So, I would like to start immediately. I know the nurses are very excited what they will hear from me. Okay, so let's move to the next slide, Jev. Okay, so prepare for success, tips to ace your employer interview. So, everyone, I'm going to talk about how you can ace the employer interview through these helpful tips. Okay, I know that some of you are already preparing before you attend the interview with the employer. And some of you have no time at all to prepare due to your busy schedules. Am I right? That's why I'm here to provide some general topics that will help you prepare your interview with your employer. So, first of all, let's talk about preparation. Preparation is a key, all right? Based from my experience, okay, based from my experience as an interviewer for almost 8 years in ASC, I can tell that the difference, if the candidate have done some preparations or not. Candidates who did not prepare have a high probability, really, to fail in the interview. So please practice, practice, practice. Okay, work on your weaknesses and improve your strength. Usually, okay, so we're now in this slide. Usually, there are two types or sets of questions that an interviewer asks. What are these and why do we have to prepare? All right, so listen carefully. And I encourage everyone to take down notes while I give some of these tips. Now, what about these general tips? All right, so sell yourself well. Usually, the first questions will focus on your personal information. All right. Employers will ask, how are you? How are you doing? So, what will be your response, nurses? Of course, give a positive response. You can say, thank you, I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. All right. How are you? You can ask, you can ask as well the interviewer how they are. And maybe you can add, like, it's good to see you. And I'm very excited to attend this interview, even if you know that you're very nervous. All right. Then, full stop and smile. Don't forget to smile. This will leave an impression that you are prepared or a candidate is prepared. Do not say, I'm actually very nervous because, this is my first time to attend an interview. If you respond that kind of answer, what impression will leave that to the interviewer? Okay? Aside from that, this is already setting the tone that the candidate is nervous and you are attracting negativity to yourself. Okay, so what are you going to do? Just relax, okay? Stay as calm as possible because your body language will say most, all right, from your answers. What you need to do is do some breathing exercise like this. You can do inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth rapidly, like that. Then inhale and exhale. Okay, that's how you prepare yourself, right? Now, for the first bullet point, I wrote here sell yourself well. How are you going to sell yourself well? Now, talk about how many years you work as a nurse. Okay, what are the areas that you work or been exposed to as a nurse? Next is highlight your skills and strength. This is your opportunity to talk about your experience and skills as a nurse. Even if this is already written in your CV, mention if you have completed an advanced study in nursing or master's degree, but be humble and not arrogant. Okay? Next is know the employer's profile. What I mean is the hospital or the company profile. Where is the location of the hospital? And can you already imagine yourself living and working in that place? What do you know about the company? Why do you want to work there? Now, some candidates has no knowledge at all will answer, um, because this is the hospital that my recruiter said that has vacancy. Will you say that? Yes, true enough. That's the vacancy. That's a hospital. They have a vacancy, but you should have done your own research. All right. So that's a bit negative answer. Remember, you are the one attending the interview, not your recruitment specialist. So, reading materials that they provide has a purpose. Read it to your advantage. Next slide, please. Okay. So, scope of practice and limitations, provide examples, and professional values, workplace etiquette. Okay. Questions will be asked about scope of practice and limitations. For example, a doctor will ask you to perform a medical procedure on his behalf. Would you do it? Okay. So, the interviewer will test you if you know your scope and limitations. Another example is if you are struggling to perform um, or implement the patient care and the safety of the patient is compromised, what would you do? Should you escalate it or continue doing your work? Or to whom should you escalate the situation? All right. Next is provide examples. Support your example. You support your answer by providing examples of a procedure or an experience you just mentioned in your answer so that uh, it will validate. Okay, so the answers that you have, uh, examples that you have provided will validate to the answer that you have given to the interviewer. Another commonly asked question is about workplace ethics. Example, how do you handle an aggressive patient? How do you handle an irate relative or a colleague who called your attention because you are not performing the correct management to the patient? Would you be mad or argue and talk back to the patient? Would you argue with your colleague in the workstation? So this part of questions is all about your character, how you behave professionally, how you work as a professional nurse, and how you deal with difficult situations at work. Next slide, please. All right. Next, under specific topics, patient safety. All right. So patient safety in all aspects of patient care is the priority. Give answers that promotes patient safety. Provide a lot of examples that will leave an impression that you are a safe practitioner and you are applying it in your current practice. Next is basic nursing skills. Interviewers want to know if you know the basics and how you apply this in practice. For example, taking of vital signs, assessing the patient, providing comfort and safety to the patient. This is also knowing your independent nursing management. Next is managing of deteriorating patient. Sorry, but before that, I would like to add in the basics of assessment, do not jump to give a complex answers. All right. So, like Glasgow Coma Scale, if you are only asked how to assess a conscious and ambulatory patient. Okay. Next is managing of deteriorating patient. Again, the basics. Know your ABCDE approach. All right. The basics of monitoring the vital signs of the patient. How about calling for help? Escalating the patient condition to your colleague or to the next in line manager. If you don't know how to assess, all right, or to identify a deteriorating patient, then you don't know how to escalate because you thought the patient is still normal and there's nothing wrong with the patient. Now, another example is activating emergency response system. Okay, here in the Philippines, we're commonly using the code blue. Yes. Now, all of these, if you have all those examples, you have to structure your answers properly. The last bullet point will talk about infection control practices. Okay, so all of these questions, actually, ladies and gentlemen, nurses, these are being discussed during ASC briefing. Okay, so I'm just touching now the general ones, but the most in depth, for example, per specialty, is being discussed to the nurses who belongs to a certain trust. Right. Under another one is safeguarding policy. This one is not common to the nurses in the Philippines when being asked during the interview. Okay, that's why we provide reading materials. So, safeguarding policy is the policy of protecting the children, the young people, and the vulnerable patients from abuse, okay, on neglect and harm. As a nurse, you have the responsibility to report any signs of abuse. So, what are these signs? Okay, or the warning signs that safeguarding is to be considered. You should know. So, if you know how to assess and thorough patient interaction is done, you will be able to detect these signs. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, privacy and confidentiality. Of course, at all times, you have to uphold respect and dignity of the patient by providing privacy and honoring their confidentiality. You have to give an example. For example, you're going to um, perform a wound care on the private part or inner part of the patient. You have to protect the patient's privacy by draping and drawing the curtains. Next is nursing documentation. The basic nursing documentation is very important. Okay, talk about clarity, legible handwriting, and you can also mention if you are familiar with computerized nursing, all right, or computerized documentation. And one of that as well is you can touch about how to correct an error if you commit an error in your nursing notes. All right, so these are the basics. And for nurses, you know that we have practiced this during our college years. This is also implemented in the hospital where you work. So please maintain those basic skills and basic knowledge. Next is machines you are familiar to use. Right? My presentation is a bit tongue twister, so apologies. Machines you are familiar to use. So not all of us are familiar with the machines they have in the hospital in the UK. So what preparation should you do? Before the interview, of course, you're given enough time, and you should also confirm when you will be available with your recruitment specialist so that, we're not going to push you if you're not familiar, if you're not ready. What I mean to say is familiarize yourself. What are the hospital equipments or machine in the departments that you are not familiar, or, for example, in your workplace that it's not being used? Okay, um, it's not hard, to do some little research or watch in the YouTube. Everything is accessible in the internet. If you have friends in the UK, you can use them. You can ask them what are the machines that's commonly you use in your hospital or in your department. Okay? But if you're not familiar with these machines, do not pretend that you know, because it's going to show, it's going to be very obvious in your answer. What you need to do is be honest. You tell the interviewer that you're not familiar, it's not available in your hospital, but then support this weakness with a positive strength like your adaptability and flexibility to learn fast. Okay? All right. So, last but not the least on the list of my nursing topics is prioritization of patient. Okay, again, the basics in assessment. How do you triage the patient? Use the ABCDE approach. Okay, what is ABCDE? Airway, breathing, circulation, disability, exposure. Okay, so those are the basics of nursing topics that you can consider when you prepare before your final interview with your employer. So I hope you have learned something today. I hope everybody's ready. See, now I'm having this difficulty like a tongue twister thing. Good luck, nurses. We would love to have you in ASC. And personally, I always, provide insights and useful tips to our nurses every time we conduct briefing. Okay, so there you go. I think, I hope I have provided insightful ideas and topics. Back to you, Jev. I can breathe now.
Oh, Miss Madge, I hope everyone will be ready
Thank
for
you.
this employer
I'm
interview.
ready too for their answers. I mean, question and answer, Jev.
Oh, happy Friday, Miss Madge. So, that was a very insightful discussion from Miss Madge, and I hope somehow this will help you in acing your interviews when you apply with ASC. Again, our Apply Now link is in the comment section provided by our experts, so please feel free to click that link. So, to everyone who missed this portion, what do you call this? This part of the program, you can rewatch this recording on our Facebook page to backtrack the interview tips Miss Madge provided. So I know you all have your questions ready, so we can proceed to our Q&A session. May I call on our lovely guest speakers back on our stage? There. Such lovely faces. All right. So everyone, please get your what do you call this? Your questions ready, and we'll have it answered by our experts today. So this is from It's Been Laila. Okay. Good afternoon. Do I have a chance even without bedside experience as a nurse? I am working as a dental assistant. I cleared my CBT. I think this will be for our recruitment experts.
Okay, I'm happy to answer that question, Jev. Okay, so preferably we want you to practice safely. Okay, especially if you don't have your experience, clinical experience, like specifically bedside patient. Okay, patient interaction and patient care. My question now is: would you be confident and feeling competent to be deployed to the UK and work in hospital providing patient care without at least a 6 months experience post registration? So we encourage you to have at least 6 months post registration experience. You can apply to us, and the rest of that, we are going to prepare you. We are going to coach you to make sure that you will be fully prepared before you face the final interview. So for me, I'm not going to encourage that you will work in the UK without a background. For me, as a nurse, speaking as a nurse, I won't feel safe and I won't feel competent.
All
Jeff.
right. Thank you, Miss Match, for answering that question. Can we have four more questions up on screen? There. This is from Elu Gomez. So, I'm still planning to take the IELTS or OET. I'm afraid I'm old for the job. I'm 51 years old, but I have a 13 years of operating room experience. I recently resigned last April 2023 as a theater nurse here in the Philippines. I think this is for recruitment team again. Huber.
Treb, please allow me
Yeah,
to
Hubert can
answer the
answer that.
question from Miss Gomez. Miss Gomez, yes, definitely you can still apply with us, provided that you accomplish or pass your English language test, either IELTS or OET. And don't fret, there's no age requirement for you to proceed with your application going to the UK. Thank
Can
you.
I add something, Jeff?
Sure, Miss Madge. Feel free.
51 years old. Elu Gomez, you're still very young.
Yes, you're
No,
still young.
you're very young, my dear. Yes. So please send your application and we are very happy to assist you.
All right. Thank you, Miss Madge. Let's have three more from John Kabug. So, do you accept lying in experience? It is bedside experience too.
Okay.
Sorry. Do you
Can I clarify what lying experience is this? Nursing in a rural health center? I think, yeah, that's what he meant. So we have employers who will consider relevant experience. You know, if you are comfortable working or to work as a community health nurse, first you will be assessed by our nurse consultants, our screeners, and you know we have employers who will say you have the relevant experience, you know the basic and nursing skills, then bring it on.
All right. Thank you so much for answering that, Miss Madge. So, can we have our last two? They're from Jambreezy Rio. So, do you have opening for healthcare assistant or nursing aide?
At the moment, we don't have yet healthcare assistance, but I believe hopefully this will be one of the in demand in the UK that we would like also to consider. So don't stop. You know, you can still send your application to us, and hopefully in the future we will have this post and we will contact you immediately.
All right. Thank you so much, Miss Madge. Can we have one last question, maybe for Miss Marla for ATS Learning Center? There. There. How many times can I take the CBT and or OSCE?
CBT is actually you are allowed up to third attempt. Okay, so but if you fail the third time, you have to reapply again. So, but I, of course, if you apply or if you join ATS, we will help you to pass the first time.
All right. Thank you so much for answering that question, Miss Marla. So everyone, thank you so much for sending in your questions, and I hope our experts answered it very clear. Don't worry to everyone who have remaining questions. We'll be sending in to our registrants via email the unanswered questions. So thank you so much to Miss Madge, to Hubert, and to Miss Marla for attending our career orientation and having a great time discussing about their fields. So, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Feel
Thank you.
free to contact us.
Yes, our
Thank
apply
you,
now link
everyone.
in our
Thank
comment
you.
section. All right. So, I hope no one is leaving because we have a special announcement. So, there, next slide, please. Yes, we still have an ongoing English language sponsorship. This offer is open to any candidate who has not yet met the NMC criteria. So this is open for both first takers and retakers. So each month, one lucky winner will be entitled to have a free IELTS or OET exam worth 12,350 up to 21,600 in courtesy of Drake Maddox. Plus, you'll get a free IELTS or OET Unlimited Review Package worth 4,000 pesos courtesy of 9.09ers. So to qualify, next slide please. So here is the criteria to qualify. So you must attend one of our career orientations. Take note of the attendance code provided below. So today's attendance code is CO811. Again, CO811. Please screenshot or take note that in a piece of paper or on your mobile phones. Then you must have a minimum of 6 months post-registration experience, and you need to apply with ASC to provide the code provided below. So, CO811. Next slide, please. Then here are the main reasons why you should choose ASC as your agency. So we have 13 years of international recruitment experience. We are a specialist in NMC, HCPC, UKVI, and we POEA process. Then we are ISO 9001 to 2015 certified, and we are an ethical, caring, and professional team. So here are the main reasons why you should choose ASC. Well, there are plenty more, but here you go. Next slide, please. Yes, we are the most trusted recruitment agency to the UK that was reported by the POEA last 2021. So we successfully deployed more Filipino healthcare professionals to the UK than any other agency from the last 2 years. Next slide, please. So, this is my favorite part. Let's connect. So, we have our social media accounts here: Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and of course, Messenger. That's ASC Global Recruitment. Feel free to reach us out, and our recruitment experts will be on hand to reply with you from Mondays to Friday. So, also, I'll add we have a YouTube channel. We upload there our career orientation so you can freely rewatch the content there. Next slide, please. Then, of course, our apply now QR code. Please feel free to scan the QR code shown on your screen, or you can take a screenshot of it. But our apply now link is also provided in the comment section, so it will be easier for you. Next slide, please. Of course, we have a office in Manila and Cebu. For Manila, you can visit us at the 18th floor, Trident Tower, 312 Senator Hill, Puyat Avenue, Makati City. And we have provided our contact info down below. Then we have for Cebu, we are at Unit 113, Crisio Building, Gonzales Compound, Gorordo Avenue, Cebu City. And also our contact number is provided there. So I hope we see you in our office. To set an appointment, you can message us on our Facebook page, and our recruitment team will be happy to assist you in the office. And we also have online consultations. We are open from Monday to Friday, 8 o'clock in the morning up to 5 p.m. So thank you so much to everyone who watched till the very end of our live career orientation. And I hope this gave you an insightful, an insightful one to process your application for the United Kingdom. So I'll see you next time for our career orientation. This has been Jeff, the marketing specialist of ASC, and happy Friday.